What's up, guys? Hey, how's it going? Oh, hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I think so. I got so I had to go get my sister from the airport at like 5 a.m. And I was like, oh, I'll get some. Yeah, I did Pickles picks early. I was like, I'm gonna get some sleep. I didn't get any fucking sleep, and it was like 4 o'clock, so I had to get out there because I had to drive like all the way the fuck out to Queens. And then I got there and the flight got delayed, like the landing got delayed due to thunderstorms. So I didn't get back home until like 9:30. I was like, fuck it. I just went to sleep. Haven't you heard we're up on good news? I thought we were just up because we opened above 62.50. 90 top? We were prepared for this easy mode die. Huh. Good. Now your sleep schedule is going to be even more fucked up. Maybe not. I actually got a little bit of sleep. Like 5 6 5 hours. 5 hours. The stream card is so dope today. It was like an old image from the Louvre, and I just slapped it on a background. I'd like to see a sell off to 80. Am I being unrealistic? Let's take a look. Maybe. No, there's a bunch of sold calls in the money below us. Everything's still sold, same shit as before. Just everybody selling the fuck out of all the contracts. I don't know. There's some bot puts at like 6,300, bot calls at 62.65. Everything else net sold. It seems like the most likely closing price would either be like 85 or 95. But I guess we could see retest 62.80 just because there's so much time. Like we might have got like a big round of profit taking and pull back, and then like V back up and mean revert after a failure. But I mean, hard to confirm it. I guess like 86 something doesn't seem particularly promising. I will say there's not a ton more upside room. I'd say like 90, 95 is probably about the top for the day. The MM immediately started buying to hedge in the money contracts. No, Bulls just had a lot of support there. So, I mean, basically right at open, what little event vol was left over from yesterday was just getting the absolute fuck shorted out of it. And if you look at the vol from yesterday, like the 10-day vol, like it's way above historic. So there was just a shitload of room to just short all of this down, or what was left of this, like today and tomorrow. The old vol page? Oh yeah. Huh. How do you have both of them? Okay, whatever. There's no pickle jar meetup. That's never happening. Don't be weird. I'm not ever going to a Denny's. Tesla Buzz has some bullshit cab hype right at open. I had 290p for next Friday, about at 95. Any hope? No, Tesla's PR team's working really hard on spinning their battery sales because now they need to lean into being not a car company. I don't know if I'd short Tesla here. I shorted Tesla earlier this week. Why do you want to? You just want to short it again because it's got support at 305 and probably very bullish if it breaks 310. No, I'm not shorting Tesla. I already that's old. Fucking Christ. No. Yeah. There's an upside gap like all the way up to what fucking 312, something like that. Higher, maybe 315. ES has a slightly higher new high, 63.35.50. I wonder what's going on out here. Hello. Uh, huh. Have you ever made out in the back of a Tesla? No. I've only ever driven them twice. One time I was by myself. Have you? I'm getting really tired of these nonstop grind ups. Wind down. It's awkward. Maybe we get some during like SLD. It's the 10th right now. It's gonna be next week. I don't like it. We just came out of like a hundred and what was it, like 130 point pullback. But we got the taco trade again, so 2 more weeks upside or 3 more weeks upside, whatever it is. The tariff groundhog's back in its hole. Trump saw his shadow. Exactly. There's some things that could upset it in the short term. Like, has Trump started sending out any of the letters yet? Did we see any letters today? Israel came out and said that Iran's some of Iran's enriched uranium survived the attacks. We're starting a bit of a trade war with Brazil now. Yeah, I saw that Brazil promised to retaliate with a 50% tariff. I don't think the impact of tariffs should be that significant for PAX. But Patria is like heavily invested in building out Brazilian infrastructure and like real estate and tourism development. So, I would say that like as globally people shift away from U.S. tourism, Brazil is obviously a popular destination. Um, and as far as infrastructure goes, they can always work trade deals out with other countries, as they are a massive agricultural producer, especially for like beef and produce. So I don't think it's gonna hurt PAX too much. But probably some volatility while it's like center stage. He admitted it's because they were mean to his counterpart who attempted a Jan 6 of his own, but it had actual consequences. Yeah, he doesn't like that. Attempted dictators being punished for being attempted dictators is not something Trump wants to support or approve of. Yeah, somehow convicted felon in favor of more prisons, because he's not going to go to them. The prisons are for the people that convicted him. That's the point. We do not grow coffee. That's correct. But we did find out yesterday that people in Liberia speak English, so maybe we can get some coffee from there. Hawaii doesn't grow enough coffee to support the US's demand. Just some like fucking artisan Kona beans, and they suck too. They produce like 1% of the world's coffee. It's awful. You see a Latin American beef pork chicken company IPO'd. Forget the name to compete with Tyson. Any thoughts? Well, if I knew the name, I might have some. No, I'm drinking espresso right now. What are you talking about? And Brazilian beans. Brazil imported like 1 billion pounds of coffee in 2024, or exported 1 billion pounds of coffee in 2024 to the US. Where the fuck do you think we're gonna replace that? We're not. Coffee is just gonna be 50% more money. Vietnam, so it's just 30% more money. I think they're the second, maybe the second largest producer. I think all of the African coffee production combined is not even comparable to Brazil's. They produce like it's I don't know 35% of the world's coffee, something like that. It's absurd. There's good coffee from Brazil. I was 2 years old when I learned about Vietnam's coffee production. Yeah, well, a lot of it. I think Indonesia's up there too. And Vietnam produces 20%. Luckily, we haven't put any tariffs on. Oh, wait. Maybe Trump just hates coffee. He doesn't want the fucking liberals to have any energy. Because he's just got meth. So, damn liberal Starbucks. Wait, who's his hero? Putin? China's been ramping up their coffee production. I don't know if they're quite 38%, but they're a lot. China's the world's largest tea producer. We already have fucking 50% tariffs there. Or 60? What's it at now? 65? Plus the bricks. So 75? A little bit of we got a little bit of short puts closing. So this is kind of what I was talking about, where we could get a pullback and then just a mean reversion. We did lose 86, but we probably need to lose 83 for any kind of significant impact. I guess we could test as low as 65 or 70, technically. But it's if we did, it would recover instantly. The whole chain's fucked. I don't know why anybody wants to trade this. The selling option seems fine. I mean, they're not worth much, but look at him move to Germany or Spain or Portugal. Huh. Why would I hate Germany? You're filling your balls with microplastics, trash Dan. You've got to get loose leaf tea. You can't say whatever you want on the internet there. Pretty much not freedom. You can say whatever you want. You just can't attack groups of people based on, gender or race. I don't know. I can't not pay my taxes here and pull my financial support from the government I don't like. Seems like not freedom, also. Ooh, if I'm critical of the government, they'll send me to a concentration camp. Freedom. Dumb. You say that like it's a bad thing. The ladies love it when I shower them in microplastics, like a party popper. Fuck. That's terrible. Seems like freedom's an illusion to keep people doing their jobs and churning the economic machine. Who cares about freedom, Girk? We're living in the hottest country in the world right now. I will say this again. That's called a heat wave. Christofferson said freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. You know who's got a shockingly low cost of living? Fiji. Maybe I'll move to like Argentina. They have good food. Could I survive South America? Probably not. How are we still above VM? Is this unprecedented? Yes. Yes, it is. I think largely because interest in the short dated options significantly exceeds interest in the longer dated options. And they're selling the fuck out of the zero DTEs, which keeps driving prices higher. Like, there's so much volume on the zero DTEs. As pretty of a mouth as you've got, it'll be fine. Thanks. Would my allergies be bad in Argentina? I don't know. I'm gonna look up Argentinian allergens. Buenos Aires. Look, tree pollen, none. Grass pollen, none. Ragweed pollen, also none. Perfect. Enjoy the Malbec. I don't like wine. I could live in like Lisbon. It's pretty dope. You think it's probable we lose 80 today? Uh, no, that losing like 83.70 was the signal there. Maybe. Delta and Charm aren't actually like super supportive here, but probably hard to fall under 75, honestly. Even losing 80 is going to be tough. Probably need more short puts to close, or we need more bot puts to come in. There's sold calls that are in the money, like all the way down to like 75, 70. But the majority of them are at, at 80 and 85. It's like right at spot. I don't know. If we do, it would probably be like a rapid pullback in short puts and then a bounce. So I still think like 80, 85 is like a closing price. Is pretty reasonable. 85 or 95 both seem to be fairly reasonable closing prices. Affluence allows avoidance of Argentinian allergens. Hmm, nice. Just my monthly appreciation milestone message. What's up, man? Big thanks to the vertical spread info. They're keeping my pert alive. Appreciate you. Happy to help, man. Oh. Hello, spicy barbecue tasty. Do you guys like the stream? There's like 50 likes. What the fuck? There's 300 of you. Press the fucking button. Gary Cheeseman, welcome to Dillionaire. Nope, that's the wrong speaker. Hit me up on the Discord. I'll get you added after the stream, man. Stern? Like Howard's? No, not at all. Is he even alive? Your lateness actually caused me to buy a Gamma Strike membership. Great shield tactic. Also paid for itself in one trade. Perfect. I can't believe people would not want to have their own copy of Gamma Strike so they could check other things besides, just the SPX stream. Because you can look at like QQQ and SPY and see what's going on there. And then also, like, this stuff. The Greeks by strike. Which I only look at, like, once a day. Yeah, gun it. Hit me with all your UX ideas. No one can trade without you. It's only gonna get better. Did you guys see the new cool pages? We just keep adding new features without fixing any of the old ones. It's the perfect hype generator. Nah, we're working on them. I'm just kidding. But it's better to get everything in place and then fix it. Alright, they paid that guy to say that. I really didn't. I blame you for not making it sooner. Well, we started making it like 3 years ago. We're gonna add news to Gamma Strike. Who the fuck wants to have a separate subscription for news? I know it's fucking awesome. No economic data. We're gonna keep pumping. Not until next week. Hmm. Hmm. I said news, not nudes. That cough is persistent. How long you got left? Like half a year, maybe. I told you guys to paper trade instead of blowing up your ports. The fuck is paper? Yes. Comes from trees. Not like a cash account. like counterfeit cash account. How dare you blame my lack of trading success on me? Beautifully put. Hmm. Yesterday's close was 63.07 ES. So the spread between delta flip and gamma flip is kind of interesting. Well, the peak of delta is like in the money. Peak of gamma is out of the money. Hmm. Curious. I still think it's really hard for us to fail, but if we did, it could be interesting. How many downside gaps? Nope. Why is NDX lagging behind the S&P 500? Because they've already pumped the fuck out of tech. They need to pump breadth in order for indexes to go higher. And so people are rotating into like small and mid caps and like consumer discretionary shit that lagged the rally because the potential returns in those sectors are far greater than the potential returns in tech. Nvidia's like 3% or 4% of the world's GDP now. How about Kava when they IPO'd? I haven't looked at it in a long time, but um could be interesting. Mm, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell if it's accumulating or just distributing out further. Their margins came down pretty hard, and I think they guided down as well. Like their last earnings. At the money IV rockets over like the next 30 days. So I don't know. Might be a little bit bullish in the short term. Rotate all that money to the sectors most impacted by inflation. That'll never end badly. Yeah, of course not. Figma, like the design tool? No, I haven't. They're gonna try to put Adobe out of business. Interesting. Yeah, this is boring. But we're at a much better closing price here. Some bot calls 80, 85 came in, kind of pushing us up a bit. Seems like the 90 calls are getting bought a bit, and the 62.95 calls are getting sold super fucking hard. Interesting. Today I learned that the British refer to canned whipped cream as squirty cream. Looks like the baby in Teletubbies. You mean the sun? Dude, look, Wolf's down another 20% today. It just needs to fill the downside gap at 0. 6,900 end of year. JPM revised their end of year price target from like 59 to 63, I think. Most of them are in that range. IV is just dead. Yeah. Very little IV right now. Options are super cheap. You look at CoreWeave. What about it? That's not the price of CoreWeave. There we go. Hmm. Might be its support here. Back above DN would be spicy. GN maybe. Like if it gets back above like 155. I think there's still room to test like 32 to the downside though, which is at least on the technicals. Yeah, because it slipped. So tested a low like one. Oh, it's at 136. Why is the price not updating? Buy the dip? I don't know. Mm, It's at 138 now. Maybe like a little bit of support at like 30. There's not much more gamma to lose to the downside, though. They could keep selling off a little bit on momentum, but there's really no positioning down here to push it further down. IV still falling. Mm. Yeah, I mean, there could be an opportunity to play a bounce on it. Although I feel like I'd want it under like 30, 35. Maybe a good like pet selling opportunity. Little thin spreads. Is Delta needed for end of day pumps? I mean, out of the money strikes going in the money is a pretty significant impact on Delta into end of day. Although I did say 85 is a pretty good closing price. I feel like things would be happy there. Uh, VIX is finally back under 16. NQ looks a little weak here. ES might fail its uptrend. So we might get like a breakdown in the bearish consolidation here. I don't know what that tests, but that could be maybe the failure. It's a little bit distributive. Slightly higher highs here though, so more stable. End of day butterfly. I mean, if I could enter it out of the money substantially, I might do like some, I don't know, something like 89 to 80, maybe something like that. Big max loss on it though. Yeah, I'd be much happier about entering this on like a test of 80. I don't like that one as much. But if I could sell it, yeah, on like a test of 80 or a test of 90, that would be better. I wouldn't open one here. It's shitty here. The max loss is ridiculous. Yeah, you could sell the put on the downside move and then sell the call on the upside move. So like right now we're at like well, we're kind of right in the middle, but this spread is 242. But if you could sell this for like $4 with the 85 put in the money, or five. So like say you could sell this for five, and this for like buy that for one, and then the same thing on the other side. Then I mean you wouldn't be all net profit, but your chance of profitability would be much much higher. If you could sell the whole thing in the money, then you could get some like net positive credit on the position. Like if you could sell the 85 like more than $5 in the money, that's where you would get something like that. The futures volume looks kind of shitty. And it's Q back above 2300. Yeah, sure, rare. You got it. Damn it. Reset it. Reset it. Does this market frustrate you at all, or are you just indifferent? I prefer markets where I can make money on long options. There's a gap at 62.79, by the way. Um, this isn't it. I don't like waiting all day to get paid. It sucks. But I mean, yeah, I don't really care. I just sell options. It's not a big deal. It's less fun. It's not an issue with patience. I just don't like sitting with risk on the book. It's annoying. It's like a more boring market, but it requires greater focus. Higher volatility, you're in and out. That's exactly why I hate put selling. Yeah. You can just use OCOs and like conditional trades if you really don't want to watch them. Oh, VIX is starting to get low enough that you can start to get like 3 to 5 day straddles and just sit in them. Because the out the money straddles are going to start getting really, really cheap, especially as they get more and more oversold. I know you're not. I know you're not throwing shade at me, Nitu. Don't worry. I think I'm gonna sell some calls on ASTS while it's up here, and then maybe pick up the long puts if it falls back below risk. I don't know if cutoff Junes were ever great, but they're still around. Thanks, Nitu. Oh, it does not. My ego's at a perfectly acceptable and balanced level. Hmm. Hmm. No, I have shit to do this weekend. My sister just flew in this morning. Oh. Bot calls 62.80.85. Bot puts 62.95. Looks like the Bulls might try to push the 90 strike again. It's my sister. Ew. No. Why would I do that? Weird. What's up, consequences of my own actions? Not a very aggressive push for 90, but support at 80, 85. Hmm. Ooh, bot calls coming in at 90. A little bit of a harder push. Still bot puts at 95. No, that wasn't me. I kind of got drained. I've not refueled it. I'm ready to refill it to short this piece of shit, but I get nervous. Hmm. What would you say the most valuable data point within GS? Gex levels? Hmm. All of the Greek by strike levels, but Delta and Gamma obviously are the most important. I would probably say outside of that, neutrals and live IV. It's almost like it's dynamic. What? That'd be crazy. Hmm. Yeah, I'll be streaming tomorrow. Ooh. Nope, not 80 yet. Uh, Still shit. Close. 78. There. Actually. I'm not stoked for. I don't own any BNet. Why would I be stoked for their earnings? Still 6 minutes left. Oh. So does this have to close above 77.88? Hmm. How are we bouncing this hard above VN? All of the fucking puts here are sold. Just a metric fuck ton of sold puts, especially at 75. Can we end the week at 6,200 again? That'd be cool. What caused the sell off? There were a bunch of sold puts or sold calls in the money. And then the bot calls took profit on their push to 90. So I mean, they got the 85 calls in the money. And then the 90 and 85 bot calls collapsed. And here we are. Ding ding. Look at that. 14%. Woo. What an exciting day. All right. Mm. So closing a little bit below the market maker's expected move for the day, but we did get a new all-time high on SPX, ES as well, with the all-time high pushing up to 63.3550, failing that test, but not significant enough pullback yet to confirm a breakdown. Dollars up a little bit on the day. Seems to have mostly gained against the euro. Yields in the belly of the curve rising, but yields at the top end pretty flat. I guess the 10-year is up a little bit, which is surprising because the 30-year auction was decent. Correlation on the 1 month continues to just rocket down. 3 month correlation nearing local lows, I think. Slightly new low, but definitely not being leveraged up as heavily as it is over the next 30 days. So obviously, everyone piling into the taco trade and into the end of August. Commodities up a little bit with precious metals moving higher, copper still moving up, but oil falling back a little bit, down 2% today. Bond volatility is not going to be very interesting. Leverage on the carry trade pretty flat day over day. Forward yield on volatility also pretty flat. Skew moved up a little bit yesterday, which might have been a signal of a little less out of the money put interest following the FOMC minutes. Probably moved up a little bit more today too. Breadth getting super fucking narrow again. Stocks at their 20-day moving average right at about pace with stocks above their 50, and a little bit of improvement on some of the lagging stocks down in the 200-day moving average, back to their high from Thursday. Correlation between VIX, cash VIX, still declining now at negative 94.41%. So we still got short vol coming in. Fed fund futures pulled back a little bit for mid 2026, flat for the beginning of 2026, and fairly flat for end of this year. Lastly, bear steepener down a little. Looks like most of the sell-off today, keeping things bogged down, was a bit of rotation out of tech services into some producer manufacturing, consumer non-durables. Looks like health tech had a nice little comeback in finance as well. Tesla bouncing 4.73%, which is probably all that really kept us from having a red day. And then yeah, that's about it. Not very interesting, I know. I think tomorrow might have like a little bit lower gamma on the chain than what we had today, so that could be somewhat interesting, I suppose. But otherwise, probably held up here into the end of the week, maybe into the start of SLD next Wednesday. Generally, the market stays pretty bullish, at least into SLD, which could be a bit of a positive, I suppose. And, yep, that's all I got. SLD above VNGN. Well, I mean, the cool thing is if this all starts selling off, and that picks up any momentum, we can sell all the way off into VN. So a lot of room to the downside before the market maker is going to really buy up that dip. especially if gamma neutral starts to get closer to VN, then that could present a fairly significant downside risk. Um, but yeah, that's all I got. So sorry I was a little bit late today. I had to do some stuff, but I will be hopefully on time tomorrow. Don't forget we have the roundtable tonight for Gamma Strike, starting at 9:30 p.m. And I hope all of you have a good night. And I'll see you tomorrow or later today. Peace.
Kenny's Mayonnaise is a proud sponsor of Pickle Financial.